What's up, folks? This is Acid Root. So I've got an underground rapper to review. So one of my collaborators, Jackal Goldkick, has recommended to me from time to time some underground rappers and such, and this is one of the ones that kind of broke through a lot more. And so JB, from what I've heard of this guy, I mean, he kind of Jackal Goldkick had said that he kind of reminded him of Eminem in some cases, but I see like other things in him also. And I do like what is heard from this person. Now, the thing about this guy is he's underground to the point where he doesn't have a Wikipedia profile about him, so it's difficult to kind of find details. And when I try to type him up in the Google search, it kind of just shows like Jay Z, Cardi B, uh, some other JB rapper that has that name. So there's an overabundance. I mean, it's not it JB sound it does sound like not an atypical name. So that's just kind of the situation. But from what I found, I was able to find him on Spotify and such, and kind of discern some of the stuff that's kind of about him. But Jackal Goldkick recommended to me this particular project, and I thought, well, I do like quite a bit of this project, and that's kind of the thing. It doesn't have a touch of mainstream at all, and I don't think it had singles. It might have had music videos, but I just don't know enough. I mean, this guy is really kind of low key to like a point, and that's what you got to kind of understand. Considering that my channel is basically comprised of a lot of low key stuff, you would say that this would be right up my alley, and it basically is. But um, I do kind of wish that there were some guests on this project. I mean, I like how JB can cover this album by himself, but I would have liked like a homie or something like that, or a couple extra cats to kind of, have like a posse song or just something extra, kind of, you know, trade lyrical barbs or something like that. But he does it all for Dolo. And that's kind of the situation. And there is some good stuff on here. It's just kind of been forgotten to me, that some folks can actually do good projects without any sort of help. And a plus about this project is the fact that the beats, it doesn't really have like the super personal songs or the like I just miss like, my uncle or some stuff like that, some degree of like some overly personal. I mean, those songs are okay, but considering that this was only a 7-song project plus the intro, it just gets right to the point. He's lyrical. He does have the ability to rap pretty well, but the topics is another thing together. That's kind of the situation. Some of the things he talks about is life in California. He kind of has a creeping song that kind of strikes fear in you with Run. He has a Me Against the World type song with Against Me, and he even talks about some folks that may have it harder than most standard people with For Everyone. So I kind of like some of the topic matter that he had. I mean, he's not completely just making like a Chevy Impala or a Cadillac song, or popping bubbly, or a song for the women, the ladies, that sort of stuff, or smoking bud or something like that. He doesn't really have distinct songs. He does mention that sort of stuff, but it just doesn't seem like it's the main theme. He actually does have a palette of things to kind of talk about on here. That's good, but I kind of find myself wishing that he had more time to kind of not be as serious, which is just kind of the situation. I mean, I think he treats his trade, you know, like a trade. He's not just goofing off and that sort of shit. So it's just kind of that's the situation. That's what you get from it. If I had to guess, I would almost think This Is Hip Hop was a single. It's a pretty. I mean, I did like that song. I mean, that felt like a song that could have been played in like a local club, maybe not like some like a New York club or something like that, but definitely it's good enough to say that it gets the bodies moving and that sort of stuff. And then California was a decent West Coast song. I mean, I did like that one also. I mean, I don't know if JB is particularly from California, but I liked it enough to kind of say even if he's visiting, it still was it was a good song. So that's good. I like that. Just it was a taste. It was an extra flavor, just talking about California, just like, hey, I've been there, it's pretty dope. I can smoke one there, that sort of stuff. It worked. And then, but one of my favorite songs on this project is the song Run. I mean, it kind of has traces of horrorcore, and it just has a real imposing kind of feel to it. It's just a real creeping kind of song. And of course, he doesn't slip on the lyrics, so that's good. I prefer songs like that. I wish there would have been another one like that. So, but to kind of talk about, like, we'll get to some of the songs that I recommend. So there are 7 songs on here plus the first song, which is the title track New World Order, which is basically just an introduction, even though he has a song called The Introduction. So I'll recommend. So some of the songs I recommend, which there's a lot, out of 7 songs. This is Hip Hop, California, Run, For Everyone, and The Introduction. So that's 5 out of 7. That's good. And I would almost, I mean, I'm on the fence about the song Against Me. I like the topic, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the beat on there. I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of like second rate. And I kind of felt like, I mean, yeah, that's a song I'm on the fence about, so I kind of feel like that about it. But then also another song I wasn't enjoying that much was This One's For You. I mean, that was another creepy song, but didn't quite pull it off as well. So, but the vast majority of this project I liked, and for me to listen more to underground artists that don't, looking at some of these folks and seeing their popularity, which is probably in the 4 digits and low 5 digits compared to, like, 800,000 people and couple million and that sort of stuff. I mean, it's nice to kind of keep things like that because it's more relatable, it's more accessible, and you'd probably be able to see a couple of this guy's shows and that sort of stuff if you're not filthy rich, which is good. You post up at the bar, you listen to this guy, you flirt with some chick, you get a couple drinks, you go home, you smoke one, and whatever. This is kind of the situation. That's the sort of stuff. Going to a JB show. I think you might have heard that. That was Thunder. That's the first time Thunder's been in one of my reviews. But yeah, so that's just kind of the situation. It's just to kind of talk about, like, you'd probably be able to go to like a JB show and just kind of kick back. I mean, this is so mellow, some of these songs. And he can do club songs. I mean, he kind of reminded me of someone like Eminem, just actually doing stuff that makes you want to move and dance and groove and that sort of stuff. That's definitely a plus. I mean, when you look at it, you have to be able to say, not every single rapper so many times. I mean, things are really starting to tidy up in these kind of days, and I just prefer rappers that still don't have a problem with smoking the Sheba and cracking open a 40 ounce or some Ciroc or something, which just really happens to be the thing. So it's good for what it is. But all right, so I'm gonna give this album a 7.5 out of. Well, actually, I'll give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 because there's only 2 songs I didn't like, and one of which I might actually wind up liking more. But I didn't like the New World Order, the minute-long intro that was on there. So actually there were 3 songs out of 8 that I didn't enjoy, but considering that I might eventually like Against Me, I'm gonna give it an 8 for the hell of it because I liked the aesthetic they were trying to do, and I liked the drive that they had. I liked the attitude that they had. That's really something. I don't talk about attitude too much, but I like the attitude that they had going in. Didn't overly talk about money, wasn't bragging too much, wasn't boasting too much, or having like some sort of cavalier attitude that pisses everyone off. Just kept it real low key, kept it kind of real, got you dancing, got you moving, got you smoking, that sort of stuff, and was just good grooves. That's the kind of good vibes that is actually worth talking about. Not just vibes like you're in your feelings kind of shit, but actually just kosher kind of shit. It just kind of happens to be the thing. So that's the way I saw it. The social score, I don't want to sit there and give it a 0, but I don't necessarily know how well this project was promoted, just because it's difficult to find much of any information about JB. So that's just kind of the thing. So I won't do that just because he's underground, but I don't know the singles or stuff like that was released. It's difficult to kind of find, like I said, information. So, but yeah, so this gets an 8 out of 10, and I recommend kind of sifting through Spotify and trying to find this record. You may not be able to find it at, like at a typical CD store, but if you look hard enough, it is worth copying and enjoying a bit. So yeah.